made it. He was beaten out of sight, and the whole world will know about that win.
Hello again and welcome to the programme which relives some of the memorable moments of boxing's rich history. We've already met one of Britain's great middleweights in this series, Alan Minter. Tonight it's my pleasure to welcome the man who succeeded him as the king of the domestic 11 stone 6 division, Tony Sibson. Tony, it's a real pleasure to have you here. Yes. I know you don't often do this sort of thing. Let's go back to the beginning. Your grandfather was a professional fighter. How did it all start for you?
We just had a local good club, the Belgrave Working Men's Club, and it was like a youth club. You know, we were all kids together, and there was big seniors there. There was all different ages, and it was just good to keep you off the streets. We were kept out of mischief, and it was basically that. My granddad I knew was a boxer, but it was old, and you know, of course, when I started amateur boxing, he showed me a few tricks, but really, you know, it's days gone by, really. But the amateur days were really fabulous days. You know, I really do value them very much.
Yeah, you had over 100 amateur fights, but you turned pro at 18 years old. That was young, wasn't it, for those days?
Well, I had a teammate who turned professional, and instead of picking up cups and saucers after an amateur win, he was getting a little check. So I thought, I'll have some of that. You know, because I was 18. I was now working in a job. I was going down the pub, perhaps slipping away, you know, from my dedicated days, and basically I turned professional and boxed locally around Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Digborough Civic Court, those sort of circuits, and we had a great following from Leicester. And
Sibbo's army.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, it was fabulous days, and maybe there was no ambition there. There was no thought of real British titles and nonsense. It was just, I thought, God, I'm getting a check, you know.
You had 15 fights in the first 12 months.
You know, well, I think it was promoters thinking, you know, this boy sells tickets, you know, we'll put him on our show, and basically the more they threw at me, the more I wanted to get up there and do it. And I was winning, and I was winning comfortable and easy. I wasn't getting knocked about. It was, you know, I started to enjoy it, you know, and I think it went on from there.
So let's have a look at Tony's chance at the British middleweight title. It was in the Royal Albert Hall against Frankie Lucas, April 1979.
Well, Lucas is the man who's known as the wild man of the ring, and he's come into this ring tonight looking very mean indeed. He's the southpaw in the multicoloured pants. Tony Sibson, 21 yesterday, waiting to celebrate that birthday until after this fight. Sibson, who gets this championship chance, the vacant British middleweight title, gets it at a stage in his career when he might not quite be ready for it. He hasn't met too many men of top class, and Lucas has been fighting for a long time now in good class, although he hasn't had too many fights. But it's made to measure for an explosive fight. It might not be a long one, but it's likely to be full of action. And already that spark of anger between the two of them before even the first bell went. And Sibson of Leicester has brought an enormous fan club with him here tonight. The Albert Hall is packed with his supporters. He comes from Leicester, Lucas from Croydon. And Lucas, who's the favourite to win this, is a man who cuts very easily. He is very, very vulnerable about the eyes, and he's come in with a lot of grease smeared over the eyebrows. Sibson has made a confident start, taking the fight to the wild man. Lucas hasn't fought since November. This is going to be a very rough, tough fight. Sibson, the long pants and the white socks. Conceding 2.5 pounds. He's 11 stone 3. Opening round packed with the promise of things to come. Good hard hooking by Sibson. Well, he won't get a much livelier start to a championship fight than that. And Frankie Lucas, the alleged wild man of the ring who's been known to bite and butt his opponents, found the fight being brought to him by the young man from Leicester, Tony Sibson.
Pick it out, round 3.
Well, you could call this a surprising start by Sibson, but now Lucas really opening up with the savage attacks for which he's noted. Let's see how Sibson stands up to this, and he's worked himself out of that corner well. And comes fighting back. Heads rubbing together dangerously. Wally Tom refereeing, there's a cut, and it's on Lucas's face, and Lucas's right eye is gone. Always vulnerable, and he's gone again. And that's the same eye that brought about his defeat when he fought for this title before against Kevin Finnegan. Exactly the same place. He managed to go 11 rounds with Kevin Finnegan, but the eye beat him in the end, and it's cut again here in round 3. Sibson is a revelation tonight. And that's a nasty place for a cut, right up under the eyebrow. And Sibson, the grandson of a professional fighter, knows the chances there now for the taking. This is the title relinquished by Alan Minter, who's sitting ringside and watching. The blood running down the side of Lucas's face. Blistering action. Four times in 15 fights, Lucas has been beaten on cut eyes. It might happen again. Tremendous action. And so Lucas goes back to George Francis for work to be done on the right eye. The old trouble, the same old place.
Pick it out, round 4.
Lucas heavily greased over both eyes. The bleeding's been stopped. Sibson doesn't mind walking into the rough and tumble clinches. shot downstairs by Lucas. You could hear it right out here. Sibson's own left hook coming back over the top. Tremendous fight. Punches of quality, an action of a rare type. Lucas is really seeking Sibson's body with good hooks. How's Sibson going to stand up to that sort of punch? He's blowing. Sibson's blowing. He's feeling the effects of those body punches. Lucas certainly threw one after the bell there, if not two.
Hit you twice after the bell there, Tony. What was it like in the corner at that stage?
Well, I was thinking, this is a war. It really is a war. It started with him putting his face in mine, and that exploded into something else. It wasn't a tactical fight; it was brutality from round one. And it was a class opponent, an uncrowned gladiator. You know, and it's my big opportunity, and I've got to try and make the best of what I've got.
Lucas almost carries himself over by the sheer weight and ferocity of his attacks. Like a wild animal sometimes as he attacks. Word of warning from Wally Tom. He's going to have to do a lot of moving about this ring. You don't stand around and wait for a man like Lucas. Again, those body punches. Lucas totally concentrating his attack on the body. Again, tremendous punches sinking into the belly of Sibson. Sibson takes a deep breath and backs off. Finding it hard to get his breath, Sibson. Got him! Oh! Came back with a marvellous punch. And Lucas has to go down and take the full count. He needs his 90s up again, but he's up very early and he's looking to his corner. Fifth round. Sibson may have him here. Got him again. Two right hands. And he's come straight up. And he's come up too soon, and Sibson's got his chance. Here comes the new British middleweight champion. Gone, gone, gone. Must be the finish, surely. And Lucas doesn't know where he is, and he climbs to his feet, but Wally Tom looks into his eyes. And it's a fantastic win by Sibson. The underdog from Leicester. 21 yesterday. And today comes the real birthday present. He stopped Frankie Lucas in 5 rounds with a series of devastating punches when it looked for all the world as though the body punching might be getting on top of him.
What a performance.
It was one of those fights. I don't think you'll ever see that sort of brutality again, you know, because today they'd be in there to stop it straight away. I mean, we were saying some terrible things to each other all throughout that fight. It was terrible. It all started from him, like I say, putting his face in mine, and you know, I think, I'm fighting for my life. You know, he was there wanting to get that crown for himself because he'd been, you know, I think he'd been left on the sidelines too long, and he'd had a bit of bad luck with losing a fight with a cut eye and that, and it just gave me that opportunity, and it was a war from.
We can have a look at the final knockdown here, Tony. Talk us through this, just to see what it's what was going through your mind at that time.
Yeah, I just knew he got up too soon, and I was walked across, and I looked at him, and I could see every part of his body, and I just wanted to I hit him with so much force. how he just got up, I don't know. He was just a lion. He really was.
Tough as nails.
Oh God! All through the fight, it was fair. It wasn't just. That wasn't a tactical fight. I was fighting for my life. I mean, he was as well, because we was hitting each other with. God, it was.
Your grandfather was the old fighter himself. Who this was his dream to see you crowned British champion.
I had so much to do, didn't I? I got all the Leicester crowd behind me. My family were there. My granddad was there. He was in a wheelchair at the time. He'd never seen that sort of success in his career. But to have all that put upon you. 2 weeks' notice for a British title fight, it was a joke, you know. I never had the guy's experience or anything. It was just, it really was. It was the only chance I had.
You rose to the occasion.
Yeah, it happened.
That was the first of your honours. Let's have a look at your record here, Tony. That was the first of your honours, winning the British title just after your 21st birthday. But Marvellous went on to win the Commonwealth, European, and you didn't win the Lonsdale belt until right at the end of your career.
It really wasn't. I wasn't in boxing for the medals. I wanted to check. You know, truly, I'm not. You know, I wasn't into being famous or anything. Just give me the check, and that's it.
But 63 professional fights, remarkable.
Crazy. It all happened early in my stage because I had such a following. We really did perhaps get overworked in the early days, but we're naive. What do we know? You know, I'm in there. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. What do I know? I'm getting a few quid. I'm happy. And then the business life comes into it, then you really open your eyes to the reality of what it is all about. And I was interested in fighting abroad. That's where the money was. That's where my future was going to be for my investment for the future, you know. And it wasn't back home, sadly, you know. But it all worked out.
That was the British middleweight title. Next on the agenda was the Commonwealth crown, coming up after the break. Welcome back. My guest today is the former British, Commonwealth and European middleweight champion Tony Sibson. We've already seen how Tony won the domestic title back in 1979, but his reign was to last only 7 months. Tony, what happened?
Straight away, I got home after the fight, enjoyed that, and then we went camping around Spain. Didn't come back for a few weeks, and just never got around it. Never got back into the boxing thing. You know, it became a business. I know I was tied into a contract which wasn't very good for me, so I had really no incentive at the end of the day. Really.
Did you blow up in weight?
Oh, I was massive. I was massive. I stayed in the sauna, lost 11 pounds the day before the fight, ran round Hyde Park the morning of the fight, and then came into the fight too light. It was a joke. It was against Kevin Finnegan.
Yeah, and
let's
have a look at it here. Just talk us through this. This is the end of the fight.
Yeah, it was a very close fight. I mean, some people say I won, some people say I lost. It was half a point, I think it was. It doesn't really matter. I got more pleasure out of that. Kevin winning the Lonsdale belt outright for his own career. After all, he's been a legend. You know, it gave me great pleasure. You
were good friends.
Yeah, Christ, he's a great guy, and I'm still in touch with him. You know, on occasions. But.
So there we are.
Yeah, that's it.
You were having problems with your manager at that time?
Well, not really problems, but I knew it became more serious than what we thought, and me being Frankie Lucas, I knew perhaps I had more in me than I realised, and you need someone who can take you that bit further.
So you had a change in management at that time?
Change in management, and like I say, I was enrolled into a contract that wasn't really healthy for me, so with me losing against Kevin, I was out of that. I had a clean break, and it was a new chapter. It was a new chapter. It was a new chapter to my career, basically.
So it was under new management that Tony met the Zambian Chinzano Muti for the vacant Commonwealth crown over 15 rounds in March 1980. We joined it in round 12.
The most recent British holder of this title was Bunny Sterling. He held this Commonwealth middleweight title from 1970 until 72. Bunny, of course, was born in Jamaica, but lived in this country, still does. The last English-born holder of the title was Mark Rowe, very famous fighter of a few years ago, still to be seen frequently at the ringsides. Les McAteer used to hold it, and Johnny Pritchett and Pat McAteer. Good uppercut from Mutti. That was one out of the blue for Sibson. And he didn't like that. And that's woken him up. It's the sort of thing that's liable to bring the best out of Sibson. So I think I said early on, he likes people who come at him. And I think he fights better under pressure than he does if he has to make the running himself. Can afford to use a bit more energy now as the rounds begin to peter out. But his mouth is bleeding. In fact, I think Mutti's mouth is in quite a bad way. It's always difficult with dark-skinned fighters to see. But there's a fair bit of blood spurting about. And I think he's got a very, very badly cut mouth now. Ramut is sticking to it bravely, although that mouth must be giving him real problems. And Sibson's getting through more and more often. Good right-hand counter there from Mutti. Brave fighter. Good round. So after 12 fairly quiet rounds, the 13th has burst into life and has given us the best round of the fight so far. And that mouth of Mutti's is in quite a bad way. Bleeding heavily, it must be cut badly inside. There's not much you can do about that in the corner. So we come to the 15th and final round of this Commonwealth Middleweight Championship for the vacant title. Tony Sibson of Leicester, who only a few weeks ago was dethroned from the British Middleweight Championship by Kevin Finnegan, now looking as though all he has to do is stay there for 3 minutes to get consolation with the Commonwealth title. They touch gloves and away they go for the last 3 minutes. And this could be a very lively round indeed, I suspect. They've got plenty left. Quite clear now that they both paced themselves for a 15-rounder. So much was saved in the early rounds. There's plenty left now for the 15th. And these closing 3 rounds have been by far the best rounds of the fight. The crowd are warming to this final round. And it's evolved into quite a little battle as we come to the final bell. Mutti doing better at this stage than at any previous time in the fight, which might make his corner disappointed that he didn't open up a little earlier. All a bit late now. And so it's gone the distance, 15 rounds for the vacant Commonwealth Middleweight Championship. And the new champion is about to be declared by referee John Coyle, and it's Tony Sibson of Leicester. And so Sibson, having lost the British title, tonight gets consolation by winning the Commonwealth Championship.
You were fairly disparaging or dismissive of that title. It didn't really mean that much to you.
Well, I just gone to move to London, and I was the surroundings. I weren't happy. I'd say not happy. I was happy. It's just that I wasn't used to what was happening and all the rest of it. And well, in the fight, I was enthusiastic because it was a Commonwealth title fight. I was enthusiastic. The first round, I thought make a number on this one. Went charging across to do a job. And I caught my foot on his foot and twisted my ankle. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks after that fight.
Seriously?
Oh, it was terrible. You'd never believe it to watch the fight, but I was in sheer pain. It was terrible. And I got through 15 rounds. It was a long fight. He had a great amateur career. He was well accomplished as an amateur. I didn't know his professional career at all, but we were both there for the Commonwealth title. And he was he was 6'4". He was so
huge,
long. He
really.
was huge.
But was it a consolation after losing the British title?
Not really. I don't know. It's a funny thing. Innocence was my gift when I won the British title. You're innocent, and all of a sudden your life turns because you realise now it's no longer, it's a business, and it's hard. Once you learn to understand that, then you kind of you try not to let it affect your mind and your attitude, but occasionally it does. But
so, what were your ambitions at that time, Tony?
I don't know, I just wanted to be, perhaps, I really don't know. I wanted everyone to be happy for me, but I was never really thinking beyond the next fight, I don't think.
Did you want to go on further, and did you want to win European and World Championships?
I always wanted a Lonsdale belt. I never looked further than that. A Lonsdale belt, beautiful in the cupboard, But then, you just say, things go on, you take these fights, you win the fights, and then it's another stage in your career, and I don't know, you just carries on, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Still only 21, and with 2 titles already under his belt, Tony's next set his sights on a European crown, as we'll see after the break. Welcome back. My guest, Tony Sibson, had established himself as one of Britain's most promising ever middleweights by winning the British and Commonwealth titles while still only 21. Next up was a challenge for the European crown, but first he wound up against a fighter called Bob Coolidge in September 1980. It was a typical Sibson explosive finish.
Still now and again putting in the odd punch that surprises Sibson. Three punches there, and he did crack his head on all 4 blows as he went down. And Mike Jacobs was going to count him out, and he has. In round 7, he gave his head a very, very nasty crack indeed as he went down. And that happened with 3 quick punches from Sibson.
Wow, what a left hook.
It was one of those fights. I enjoyed southpaws, but he was clumsy with it, and I just couldn't get settled, and I think it was out of frustration that happened. Really, it was.
Talking about the fact that you had a tremendous left hook, you were actually a southpaw, converted, isn't that
Yeah,
right?
as an amateur, yeah, I was, southpaw. Then I got, considered that's the wrong way to do it. You use your left jab,
But you are left-handed.
Yeah,
right?
left-handed. And
You're right with your left hand?
no, yeah, right with my left hand. It's just my boxing. I do, box orthodox, and it helped me when against southpaws, many southpaws. But when I boxed, really, I really got on very well with them.
That left hook, I remember watching you as a kid, think, wow, this guy can bang. You really could spring power into that punch. So then your next shot was at the next fight was a shot at the European title. Tell us about the build up to that one.
It was Salvamini had just beaten Kevin Finnegan, who now is a teammate of mine in the same gym in Clapham. And his first defence had to be against myself. And
Did Kevin tell you anything about this?
Yeah, sure. Kevin was coaching me in the gym. Kevin worked well with me in the gym, sparring wise and telling me the different things. And it worked a treat. On the night, I was enthusiastic for Kevin and all of us because we got the European title back, and it was
What
great.
sort of a guy? What sort of a fighter was this guy?
He didn't want to fight. He was so negative. He wanted to tie me up. It was a frustrating fight. It wasn't going to work as I expected. He closed me down. I couldn't really get explosive or nothing. It was hard work.
Tony had home advantage for his European title challenge in December 1980. Wembley, the venue. We join it in round 4.
Sam Burns, the manager of Sibson, couldn't wait to get this match made between Sibson and Salvamini. The match, in fact, was actually made in a restaurant in San Remo on the night that Finnegan was beaten by Salvamini. The two camps went to the same restaurant in San Remo the same night, and they came to an agreement for this fight with Sibson. Crack of heads then. It's turning into a rather messy fight with these short bursts of attack from Sibson and then the Italian running into clinches and trying to hold on and restrain Sibson from doing any damage. Oh, good left hook. And that's the same round Finnegan had him down in San Remo. Compulsory 8 count. Now then, can Sibson finish it in this round? Salvamini looking rather bitterly at Sibson. Another 8 count. Half a minute of this round to go. Seconds. Salvamini holding on for dear life now. There's the bell, not a moment too soon for Salvamini either. He was in trouble there. On the floor twice.
Tony, this was a tremendous round for you.
Tremendous left hook.
It was. I thought it could all have been finished in that round, but he was so good at tying me up and holding on tight, and he just closed me down. I just couldn't get my hands moving as fast and as hard as I wanted them to. But well, he's a champion. You expect that. They're not going to give it to you on a plate, so it's got to be earned.
So the Salvador crowd now keyed up, expecting a Sibson victory here. And so is Sibson. Strange that Salvamini should have gone over in the same round as he went over against Finnegan. Spanish referee, Senor Esquerra. Referees from Spain, one judge from France and one from Holland. Salvamini clearly has decided that he better get to work in this fight if he wants to keep his title. His first defence, first time he's fought outside Italy as a pro. Good right from Sibson. And in goes Salvamini again, grabbing for all he's worth. And again a good left hook caught him, and again he had to hold on or he might have gone down. Fifth round. And Sibson is determined to finish this in this round if he can. Salvamini is holding really quite unmercifully, holding on for dear life. Thundering left hook again. Caught Salvamini high up on the head. Well, that's another thundering good round for Tony Sibson. And if he keeps this sort of thing up, it surely can't go the 12 rounds. Salvamini really has to get to grip somehow with this because he's dropping way behind now. He's made very few attacks. He's initiated very, very few attacks. And his main part in this fight so far has really only been waiting for Sibson to attack and then coming into the clinch and holding. Thrown very few good punches. then that all the water on Salvamini's body sprayed out of the ring and over all of us here at the ringside on this side. Well, I'll say this for the Italian, he can take a punch. He's been whacked unmercifully. And there's still a spring in his step as he goes back to the corner at the end of the sixth, and we're halfway through. And Salvamini now has dropped quite a considerable way behind. So we move into the second half of the scheduled 12-rounder for the European middleweight title, held by the Italian in the white shorts, the southpaw, Matteo Salvamini, 26 years old, from Milan, and Tony Sibson from Leicester, attempting to take this European title back to the camp of Sam Burns, who held it with Kevin Finnegan up to a few weeks ago. He's thrown over. Sibson blinking. I think he got a thumb in the eye. If he did, he's making him pay for it. Grabs like a leech, Salvamini. Beginning to chant again. What a good series of punches. And Salvamini managed to take him. And that amazes me. Thought he was sure to go down there. And he's gone this time. Round 7. And Sibson's are claiming victory already. And Salvamini can't make it. He can't get up. He's knocked out, and Sibson has won the European middleweight title. And a small army of his fans come crowding into the ring to greet him. And Salvamini still doesn't know where he is. He's on his feet, but he can hardly stand. So in the 7th round, Tony Sibson brings the European middleweight title back to this country, and in fact Salvamini has held it for only 89 days and has comprehensively been knocked out here in this Albert Hall ring, and Sibson's happy fans jump up and down and threaten to bring the ring to collapse, it seems to me. What a good win for Sibson. He did everything that could be asked of him, and in all truth Salvamini simply couldn't take the sort of punching that Sibson threw at him.
What a tremendous performance that was. Wow.
Tough. It was tough. He took it, and
but you were up for that, weren't you?
I had so much to prove, because I left London at that time. I wasn't happy, like I said. I couldn't get the weight off. I was struggling to get for the motivation, and I went back to Leicester, not knowing where to go. I finished up in the back of a skittle alley with Ken Squires in Siston. Well, Sam Burns took one look at that, you know, and see one punch bag, and he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "This ain't going to work." And I had so much to prove to her. I worked hard, extra hard, and done a lot of road work, got myself real fit. I've always had the fighting ability. That comes from you when you're a young amateur. You take it all with you, and all your learning is done in your sparring and all the rest of it. But
you prepared brilliantly. Let's have a
fit.
look at the finish again here, Tony. Just talk us through this.
Well,
that left hook?
Yeah, that left hook was unnoticed. I mean, but that was the end of it. He took so much, and I think he just wore him out totally. He was such a strong guy. He closed me down. He wrapped in those clinches. He wrapped himself around me. I just couldn't move. It was difficult, but we got over it and
certainly in great style.
Yeah.
How important was that victory for you?
I was excited. I was enthusiastic. I was excited about it. It was good for the camp because of Kevin and all of us. It was good. And I thought, yes, this is a new door opening for me now. I'm out around Europe. I like the travelling thing. I like boxing abroad, and it's good fun, and the adventure. And that's what it was all about for me. Yeah.
How good a fighter were you at that stage? Did you feel that you had developed and become a better and more mature fighter?
Not really. I was still a young boy. I was still
22
young.
years.
22 years. I mean, I was still a boy. I was still a boy out of the clubs. I wasn't. It was just coming so easy. I was doing the stuff, and I wasn't mature enough mentally to understand myself and what it would take of me to reach the real.
But were you starting to believe that maybe I've got a chance of making real money here?
No, I think it was just the adventure. Still, just the adventure. It's another adventure, and I was enjoying it. And then you'd see me box against someone over 10 rounds, and perhaps labour because I weren't doing the work behind it. I wasn't really.
You still hadn't focused your mind.
Not really, no. For the title fights, obviously you had to be focused because you lose a fight, you lose a title. But I enjoyed the European title fights. They were good. Like I say, the adventure in boxing abroad and all the rest of it, that was good. And well, that's it. It's another chapter.
Plenty more drama to come in the story of Tony's career. More of that later in the series. My thanks to him for joining me today. I'll be back next week, and until then, goodbye.